Yes, Santino Brothers! It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. I hope you lied to your parents about a friend's house you're staying at, because we're staying up all night! And we've got a jam-packed show for you with some of the biggest stars in wrestling, so let's get this party started. The first match is scheduled for one fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Farmer here on the call for our opening match. It is Santino Brothers Tuesday up all night, and we've got ourselves a clash of the heavyweights to kick things off. And they finally lock horns, these two bulls, and Guy is showing that whether or not you're a little more hydrated than you need to be when you're that big, you have the power to throw back even the biggest of opponents, as Artorias finds himself back in the corner. A little bit more serious looking than he was when we started things off. Maybe realizing that the Drunken Master is stronger than he expected. Artorias behind Gaius locks the arms. And the big man hitting the keg bounce, knocking down Artorias with the giant midsection. And now we have a little bit of showboating by the tugboat Drunken Master. And if he wasn't under the skin of the mysterious Artorias, he is now. Gaius seems to say, bring it on, as he pulls his own beard now. And the Santino Brothers family cheering along for the Drunken Master as Artorias driving those forearms into the back of the big man, using that leg to choke Gaius on the top rope, and Artorias again maybe doing more harm to himself than good. Again, that fall from earlier in the match coming across the leg of Artorias really starting to cause problems. And anyone who's watched Artorias knows that he loves to use those pump kicks, loves to use those legs, but those seem to be neutralized as Irish whip into the ropes, goes up onto the back, and this is the setup. Now we've seen Gaius win with those moves before, and as Artorias, studying the tape from last week, going for that choke, squeezing the throat. And when you're that big, you need a lot of oxygen, and with the strong arms of Artorias wrapped around the throat, he's not getting that. But again, using that same weight to his advantage, driving Artorias into the turnbuckle. The Santino Brothers faithful here all seem to think this is a dancing competition as they give their judgment about Jay Rich. But they do have a point as he finds himself face first. Manny Mars going for that ankle lock, and he knows that maybe Jay Rich does have something to do with his missing gear.
Go Manny, go Manny.
The flashy gear or not, the flashy moves of Manny still taking over as he dances to the cheers of the people. Jay Rich kick to the gut with a club to the back as Manny Mars goes down to all four, and Jay Rich, again, not paid by the hour, going for some punches and kicks, brawling. Manny seems dressed for a street fight, and Jay Rich wants to give it to him, but Manny bringing that wrestling acumen, the Prince going to the air with a drop kick to the face. Manny may not be the tallest guy in the ring, but he will jump up and get there with that drop kick against whoever he seems to be in the ring with. And now Jay Rich suddenly not talking quite as much as he was, stepping back a little bit as he takes a cheap shot behind the referee's back and whipping him across the ring here, but this time, no, Manny reverses. Big clothesline now, decapitating Jay Rich. Jay Rich gets back up, and once again, can he make it three? Ducks the clothesline himself, gets behind him, goes for the Russian leg sweep, brings him down. Jay Rich in trouble now as he goes for the Manila Sunrise. It's the Manila Sunrise, and Jay Rich is nowhere near the ropes. Manny's put away. Manny man with this move as he clenches in the Manila Sunrise. Jay Rich, is this it? No, he gets to the ropes, And right now, Jay Rich has to be thanking his lucky stars. He was able to get to that bottom rope, as now he is slow to get to his feet. Now, Jay Rich clutching onto that bottom rope, not wanting to get back to the middle of the ring, knowing how dangerous it could be with Manny, knowing he has the Manila Sunrise in his arsenal and can come at any time, but Jay Rich throwing elbows, fighting free, and what used to be cocky is now desperation as Jay Rich looks to go for a suplex, but Manny says no. Manny denies him with a kick to the gut and a stunner! How many men have been put away with this move in the past on the biggest stages? That was nothing but muscle memory coming through.
It's for my jacket. Yeah.
As
This is my jewelry. Yeah.
Manny calls out for the jacket, for the jewelry, for the drugs, for everything.
My crown.
And for the crown, a 5-finger slap to the face of Jay Rich as Jay Rich crawls to his feet and eats another elbow. And Jay Rich is on Dream Street, going headfirst into the turnbuckle. And they go to the next turnbuckle. Manny taking him on the tour around the world like Magellan. The Pinoy Prince takes him to all 4 corners. And folks, you can keep your Game of Thrones. This is the royalty battle I want to see. The King of the Takedown versus the Pumpkin Queen. And you have to wonder if maybe Alonzo is getting a little worried here about what Sage Sin might be able to do here in the ring against him. But now he, tit for tat, goes for a headlock of his own, but unlike Alonzo Alvarez, Sage Sin fights through, gets the reversal, puts the headlock of her own, and takes him down to the mat. Now, if he is the king of the takedown, this is the kingdom of Alonzo. Sage Sin is invading the Pumpkin Queen. Going for that armbar, keeping him away from that safety of the ropes, working the arm, driving him face first and pulling back the fingers, pulling back the hand, biting at the fingers. And right about now, Alonzo has to be wondering if maybe he poked the wrong bear, because the Pumpkin Queen is ready to fight, claw, bite, and kill in this match against the King of the Takedown. She throws in the elbow, Irish whip across the ring. Alonzo goes back first into the turnbuckle. As Sage hits that big running splash and sends him running again. Falling down, collapsing to his knees. Sage Sin pushing him back up, driving her hands into the throat and the jaw, and Alonzo just seems to be knocked silly. If Alonzo didn't know he was in a fight with a veteran, he does now. And his opponent. Coming to us from the Galapagos Island, weighing at exactly 286,413.622 kilograms. He is the punk rock Poindexter, Darwin Manning! Darwin tries to fight out of it, reverses into a headlock with a snap near takedown, bringing down Artorias as Darwin Finch with an unorthodox pin, but of course Darwin studying everything everywhere, knows all the wrestling moves, and that one was one that I don't think a lot of us were ready for.
He has a chance to take the spot of many people that have not been able to continue.
Massive suplex as Artorias begging for the count to start as quickly as possible, and I think it sounds like maybe he even understands that if he doesn't get a win soon, it's going to become a big issue for him, and it might have some long-term damage to that knee as we get a jawbreaker from Darwin Finch, whipping Artorias off the ropes, but no reversal. Goes for the headlock, goes for the guillotine choke, and he brings down Darwin Finch in the middle of the ring, and now it's Darwin who might be worried about tapping.
This is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to ground him, he needs to choke him out. If he gets frustrated and takes more time, he can't give Darwin an inch.
That's one.
Whoa!
This is two.
I think he's choking him out, Jack. I think
this
he's
has got to be it. He's out. This is an overmatch. But no, Darwin. Darwin finds a way. He finds a way to bring that heart, to bring that fight. And this is what Darwin is known for, more so than even the brains, just that can't quit attitude as Darwin drives down the knees with a double knee buster. And ladies and gentlemen, that might be it for the Mysterious Wanderer. Going for the kill with that big boot as Darwin will not be denied, will not go down. Gets him into a full Nelson, quick turn, spinning back fist, wobbles the man, goes up, and we got a neutron bomb set up into the Texas Instruments cloverleaf. Can he get him over? He does.
He's got it locked in.
He's wrenching it, and there's nowhere to go. He's right in the middle, and the big man taps.
Artorias
That's it.
taps immediately.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for two amazing warriors that just went at it. But folks, this is the moment we've all waited for. This is what we stayed up all night for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. And it's scheduled for one fall. Folks, this is what we came for. This is what it's all about. It is time for the main event of the evening. And have we got one for you? It's Mac Daddy Milo going up against El Primo Henyo Chebeka. And this is going to be one for the ages. Milo, doesn't seem to be too shocked that Primo's already going for some dirty moves. Now, come on, going for the handshake. We know this is no good.
Great strategy, though. If he can sucker her in, you can't say it's a bad idea.
It's a left-handed handshake. Kiss of the hand. Who does he think he is? I don't want to go to cliches, but it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, and no one has more fight in them than mighty Mac Daddy Milo, even though she finds herself in the corner right now. Lex Ford find himself in danger as Milo comes to Lex Ford's aid. Usually it's Lex Ford coming to the wrestler's aid. That was a fun turn of the tables, but Milo taking it to Primo, and Primo realizing that all of his game plans are not working. Milo screams as she dives for the tope. This time it connects, sending Primo down to the mat, down to the outside. And once again, as we say at Santino Brothers, every seat is a front row seat. Right now, as Primo just has to lift up the almost dead weight, and gadzooks, the force of that throw into the turnbuckle sends her down to the mat.
That is quite the comic book explanation, Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing by with your winner of the main event this evening. Primo, you didn't win the love of the people of Santino Brothers, but you got what matters, and that is a win in the main event. Everyone has to be wondering, what's next for El Primo?
Spencer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for all the wrestlers, all the production folks, the commentary team, the referees. But ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, let's hear it for all of you. This has been Santino Brothers Tuesday Up All Night. And as we say every single week, we're gonna do it again and again and again. We'll see you next week with more of that pro wrestling action. Folks, until then, let me hear you chant it. Up all night, up all night.